Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome to the Amateur Otaku Podcast. How is everybody doing out there? This is Brandon Alvarado, the Scarlet Fan here, and I am excited to be here and back, ready to talk Attack on Titan, the final season. With all of you guys. Thank you for joining us. As usual, I am here live, but I am not alone. I am accompanied by the one, the only, the armored Titan, Doc Isaac. What's up, man? I should add you to the stream if I'm going to present you, right? Hi, Isaac. How are you?
Metapod used Harden. Kakuna used Harden.
That's what I get for saying armored Titan, huh?
Yes.
Oh, boy. Well, Isaac, we're here. We're back. Finally here, ready to talk Attack on Titan. What an amazing couple of episodes we had. Episode 69, A Sound Argument, and episode 70, Deceiver. There's a lot of stuff going on. Eren is jacked as beep. And what a great show this is. Also, a week and a half ago, we got a brand new chapter of the manga drop. So we're not only going to be covering the latest two episodes, which are 69 and 70 of the anime. Towards the back end of the show, we're also going to talk about the manga, because Isaac and I are up to date with the manga of the show, the manga of Attack on Titan, or Shingeki no Kyojin, and we're going to be talking about it because the manga ends in 2 months, and we definitely need to discuss it, and it is the best place to do it. If you love to hear us talking about anime and reviewing, giving our thoughts, make sure you follow us on our YouTube page, Amateur Otaku, and then you subscribe, hit that like button, and click on the bell for notifications so you do not miss any streams, any updates, or any episodes. And check out our archive from episodes from season 1, season 2, or Halloween special. We have plenty of episodes there. We recently just put out our episode on Snow White with the red hair. We also put an episode on The Great Pretender, on Erased. The latest episode of the Promised Neverland podcast is coming up very soon to our YouTube channel, so stay tuned for that. And if you prefer it on a podcast format, the Amateur Otaku is available everywhere: Radio Public, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify. Wherever podcasts are found, you can find the Amateur Otaku and enjoy it. But we're here now, live on YouTube. As you guys know, the Attack on Titan review series is exclusive to YouTube, so we're very excited to be here and talk about this amazing show that has been delivering amazing episodes week in, week out. Isaac.
At least it's not the summary episodes without full warning.
That's a low blow. That's a low blow.
It still annoys me, and I am a big fan of the manga.
I'm telling you, very little recap episodes land. Yeah, that was horrible. So I don't know why.
Comment still stands.
Yes. Now, I think the best thing to do right now is to just jump right in. Let's go right into these episodes. Let's talk Attack on Titan. Episode 69, A Sound Argument. It's funny that we mentioned a recap episode coming out of nowhere, because even though this is the way it plays out in the manga, this is kind of a recap episode, but it's more of a remembrance or flashback episode, because in little bits and pieces we've been getting chunks of story of what happened between the time skip, especially with the scout regiment in Paradis. And here we get two other couple pieces of information. One of those being one that you've been talking about for the longest time is Mikasa's heritage. We finally found out what it was. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Go on. You can go on with that, considering you started with it.
Well, pretty. Thank you. So pretty much, we finally know the mysteries of the Ackerman heritage, and apparently Mikasa is a queen, or the descendant of the ruler of this place. That's called no, Izumi is the name of the ruler. What's the name of the country? I know Ackerman is the tribe, but pretty much it's Asia, like China or Japan or whatever, or the equivalent of that in this world. Um, and we found a different. It's a different culture. It's a different take in politics. It's literally letting us know that Mikasa is this rare breed of person that is part of that chunk of people that was left behind whenever King Fritz enclosed Paradis, the city of the island of Paradis, and enclosed humanity in its walls to protect it from the world and the Titans that would be released in Paradis. Um, a descendant of this Asian country was left behind, and from that descendant came all the Ackermans that live in the island of Paradis, which have incredible athletic and physical ability. Which, of course, we both know. We know two of them, which is Mikasa and Levi, is also from this lineage, which is why Levi is such a badass.
And I love how they jokes how everyone has have is the word overgrown him
Yes,
getting taller.
yes. It was a nice episode because it had little moments like that. Because this episode wasn't just about completing strands of the story in terms of letting us know how the Eldians in Paradis know of Izumi and how they became together as a team. It kind of gives a bit of backstory of how Zeke is pretty much the one pulling all the strings from behind. And it's all and he's been like developing this plan from the beginning, which also begs to the question how it kind of flashbacks to the beginning also that Zeke is not only just pulling the strings for the operation, but he's appears to also be pulling the strings still, but nobody knows what he's up to. So
I
even
remember.
now,
I
even now,
remember.
go ahead.
I remember when I watched it. I'm watching this last season with my sister, and
Hmm.
she was just, wait, what's his plan? What are you talking about? And I'm looking at me, and I'm just, sorry, I can't say that because it's a big fat spoiler.
Yes. Also because she hasn't read the mangas, she's only seen the show with you.
She have read until the start of the final season.
Very,
I
very
think it
nice.
was. I think it was 2 or 3 episodes in. That's where she stopped reading it.
Nice. We have a listener here saying hi. How you doing, AFK Weave? Thank you for joining us on the show. It's a pleasure to have you. Um, but yeah, it's a big thing. Like it's a big spoiler. Whatever Zeke is planning, because of course there's no mystery. There's no important big mystery that Isayama has not revealed. That he's not going to reveal in the future. We know that Isayama, as an author, has taken his time with a lot of the mysterious plots that have been sown from the beginning here in Attack on Titan, but he has been unveiling a lot of the truth of this world little by little. So he has delivered on every point. So those that are like running around and rubbing their heads and hitting their heads against the wall in regards to trying to figure out what Zeke's plans and intentions are, don't worry, it's coming. But it's actually awesome because everybody's on edge with Zeke. Even when people are saying that they're siding with Zeke, there's always this degree of distrust that you see among everybody, among the heads of the military, among the scouts, even among Eren. Like nobody can trust the outsiders, and it kind of feels like because of all the hatred that they've suffered and all the deaths that they've suffered because of the Titans and all that they've discovered of the world and all they've discovered because of Marley, it's like the people of Paradis have kind of assumed that that expected response of hating all those that hate them and distrusting all those that that hate them. You know what I mean? So they're very weary of the world. Like they know that they're in a disadvantage that they want to learn, but they also are being very wary on who they make connections and make alliances with. And also, even when you see like the character of Izumi and all the Asians that are coming, you kind of see that they're not necessarily like the best of people. Like that comment that all they think about is money. And like the only reason that the Asians are trying to help Paradis is because there's a valuable resource that only exists in Paradis. So it's all a transaction for them. And it's not
which
necessarily for them to have freedom.
which is in terms of a there's always the countries that always company. I was going to say companies, countries that's always in just because of their own benefits instead of want to joining. This isn't something new in terms of nothing new, so to speak, but it works within the context of the story.
Because it is something new for the people of Paradis. Because this is the first time that they have to interact with countries outside of their own. Because they've been isolated from the world. And it kind of is kind of daunting how their first interaction with the outside world. First, the Titans for them was the only interaction they had, and it was horrible. Now, when they meet with other humans, they're kind of receiving, to a degree, similar treatment in different fashions. So you can see the different degrees of disdain and rejection that these people have gone through. Which leads
To
me
some
to go ahead.
To some extent, they give off the feelings that they rather face the Titans than doing these political meetings at times, especially Level and Hank.
Right. But more also, you see a lot of that in Eren. Because one of the things that I like about this episode and is that this particular episode, more often than not, it's kind of like sowing the seeds, like allowing you to see, not sowing the seeds, but it's kind of like showing you the kind of things that occurred that pushed Eren over the edge. You know what I mean? The things that are driving his decision or his decisions to do what he did in Marley, but also to of what he's going to do next, whatever it is that he's going to do next, and how he is no longer, because when you see the Eren in those 2-year flashbacks, like you kind of still see it's not the same Eren that you've always known forever, but you still see glimpses of the Eren that you knew. You know what I mean? Even though he's kind of like matured, is a little older, he's a lot quieter to a degree. But you can tell that he has this channeled anger, but also this.
He has essentially become Batman in an old Batman.
Oh my God, that's a very interesting take. But yeah, he's like channeled this anger. Yeah, because you're right.
But when he's younger, he's more positive, even though he's cynical. Granted, but every time when people age him up and age him up and age him up, the more cynical and grumpy and said, "No, we can't do it this way because point A, point B, point C, point D, and blah 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 blah," and then sort of like that. And when people are questioning his decision making at times, depending on what kind of story you're talking about, he gets rather angry because they are just saying, some are just saying you can't do that, while not giving an answer of why he can't do that.
Right. No, and also I like the different dimensions of his character where you see how he's more clear of the things that he deems unacceptable. Like for example, when they're having the reunion of deciding what's going to happen with the Beast Titan, and they kind of like talk about how to be able to become a global power, right? Because it's pretty much that's what they're talking about. How allowing Paradis to become a global power that can sustain itself. To be able to do that, they're going to have, according to the plan that Hisumi's putting forth, and according to the plan up to what we understand that Zeke is putting forth, they're going to have to extend the whole Titan cycle of giving Titans to different people of royal blood and kind of like extend that. And Eren is like, no. Like the idea that he can firmly stand up even in the middle of a meeting with this rage. And I like how the rage is the same that has always identified the character, but it's a mature rage and a rage full of conviction, as opposed to a blind rage, which to me is powerful because I'm actually halfway through volume 2 of the manga because I'm reading it for the first time. And I'm reading those first panels where you see this Titan that's raging and destroying other Titans for the first time. You know what I mean? It's like this
Yo.
blind rage and anger. And like Eren hasn't lost that. He just has a clearer vision of why he has that rage. And the idea of them prolonging this ever never ending cycle of passing Titans down is part of the problem. And the idea that other countries like the Asians would come over to suggest that that should be part of their plan to become an independent and strong country is something that's harrowing and unacceptable for Eren. And and it also informs the beautiful conversation that occurs. And I think this is the first time that we actually see an Eren that is comfortable talking about his emotions when he starts talking about how he doesn't want any of them to inherit the Attack Titan. Because he literally says, I love you guys too much. Like, I care about you guys so much that I don't want you guys to have to deal with this power. Like they're all fighting with each other to who's going to inherit it. And Eren says, no, I want none of you guys to have it. And it's kind of like you kind of see Armin understanding that, kind of Armin understanding and hearing Eren. And what Eren's trying to say is, I want to be able to end this while I'm alive. Which is what then, when you see everything that Eren's doing, makes you think this is the ideology that's pushing him this way. That's making him make these decisions that seem emotionless when they are really full of emotion. You know what I mean?
The country Mikasa is from is Hisuru.
Izuru is the name of the country?
Yeah. Hicuru.
Nice. Nice. But you understand what I'm saying with the whole thing with Eren? Like, I like that we're getting these moments that inform his psychology. And I can't wait to see what he does next. I don't know if it was this episode or the episode after where they show him in the cell kind of like talking to himself. Which when you saw that, because I know when you saw that for the first time, him looking into the mirror and like forcing himself to be a certain way. What thought came through your head?
In the name of the great Keanu Reeves. Whoa.
Yeah. It's like super intense. Like he's just like extremely focused, forcing himself. It sounds like he's doing like some type of hypnosis or therapy to himself. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
don't feel anything. Don't let yourself astray. Fight against what you're feeling. Fight against everything. Like you need, like, you know what you need to do it. You know what I mean?
Which
Like
is kind of sort of like, which is kind of sort of like with the Dark Knight Rises when Batman is talking to Bruce Wayne about how he he can't help it to join the forces to stop the criminals again, sort of like that.
Who do you mean?
He has the inner demons talking to him to sort of like, no, you calm, collect, do it, or it will sort of like kill you inside, so to speak. Which you can argue that if he didn't calm himself, he could go cook for Cocoa Pops and killing himself in the process through going berserk and having Levi or Mikasa killing him.
Yeah. Which also drives what I like about these two episodes, especially seeing them together as a pair like we did, is that you get the flashback in episode 69, right? Where you have the meeting with the Asians, you have a little bit of what's going on here. You have the arrival of you don't see Gabby and you don't see Falco till episode 70, but you kind of get a glimpse of the things that occurred right before the attack on Marley. But I like how it sets up a lot of the philosophy, at least for Eren. I like how they do it, and the struggles that the leader, that Hanji, as the commander of the scouts, is having, and also the idea that Zeke is, even though they don't pay as much attention to him throughout the episode, but for me, the way the episode ends with Zeke in a corner under a tree reading a book, it's kind of like an alarm setting off. Like, yes, they're wanting, the director wants you to know that even though you don't hear Zeke talking, the idea that Zeke is being mentioned as a key primary factor in everything that's going on pre Attack on Marley and post Attack on Marley is very important. He is a key figure on everything, and I think that's crucial and important and interesting. So that's pretty awesome. Because the way the episode ends with just a view of Zeke reading while everybody's none the wiser, makes you think he's very calm and very quiet for a reason. Because if he was able to fool Marley the way he did, it begs to question, who else is he fooling? You know what I mean? But yeah, episode 29 was pretty awesome. Now, episode 70, it's very interesting.
Before we go to episode 70, what's the guy characters called in Watchmen that essentially is to kill for greater good?
Ozymandias.
Zeke is sort of like Ozymandias here. And you never knew what he has up in his sleeve, so to speak.
He is the great pretender. He's the one that is able to deceive everybody with great words, great deeds, and power until he unveils something that hurts everybody. Yeah, I can't disagree. Zeke is an Ozymandias type character, also because he's also portrayed like this bigger than life character as well. You know what I mean?
Which
like the only,
considering the Titans they use.
Yeah, and funny enough, the only authentic thing about Zeke is how he's scared shitless of Levi. like that's the only thing that I trust and believe of Zeke, that he just scared of Levi, which is one of the best things ever. Again, hashtag lethal weapon, the Avengers of Zeke and Levi. This needs to happen. We should write that book, Isaac, and we'll be famous and sued by Isayama. He'll be like, why didn't we think of this first? Out of nowhere,
No
suddenly,
comment.
suddenly a new angle of junior high comes up, and it's literally the Avengers of Zeke and Levi on junior high. Do you imagine? Um,
Yeah, we need to cover that one.
I know,
It's not
but
that bad if you look
I'm
at
not
it.
saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just, not entirely into it. But we'll do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Damn it. Um, but yeah, episode 70. So, what were your thoughts on this episode? Because I have one thing in particular that I want to discuss, which I think is the big point. But this is the episode where we kind of follow Gabi and Falco after they escape.
Well, I have
Talk
mixed
to me.
emotion. I have mixed emotion about Gabi, to be perfectly honest.
You don't have mixed emotions. You want her dead. That's not a mixed emotion.
Yeah, but on this, because she is annoying as. Excuse my language, but she's annoying as fuck. Screaming, shouting, blah 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 blah. But at the same time, if you look at her, behavior, she's. Why is she like that? Because she has been indoctrinated
Yes.
since Lord knows how long.
Yes.
Then you can answer why he has better control than her over his behavior and all that, but maybe he hasn't been that as indoctrinated about they are devils, they are devils, they are devils, yada 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 yada. That could be the case, considering how they were more focused on having her as a warrior than he was before he got determined to, no, I need to be one to protect her, so to speak, after what Reiner said.
Yeah. See, I can understand why people hate Gabby, and I think it's a mixture. The big difference between these two characters, which I love, is that. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that it's understandable if you hate that character. Well, I do too, but at the same time, you can't deny that there is a logical. You can't deny that there is a logical reason of why she behaves like that.
Correct. And I think the reason we have Gabby and Falco, we have those two characters, is because they're the both sides of the spectrum, and you have the one that's drank the Kool-Aid so much that she's made the Kool-Aid her way of life. You know what I mean? And and she's defined by the Kool-Aid that she's drank. But then you have Falco that's not defined by the Kool-Aid, but he's defined to a degree by the people that he cares about. And because he cares about his people and not about who he can become for others, or I mean, he is convinced by what he wants he can become for others, but because he cares about those around him and he cares about the people that he loves, he's able to understand the things that can harm them, and all he's looking at is the things that can harm the people that he cares about, which is why he's very open-minded about the fact that just because Marley is giving you this opportunity doesn't mean they're good, doesn't mean they want the best for you. You know what I mean? There's still people that their people are still, you know what I mean? It makes me think about kind of Falco is very similar to how Grisha was. You know what I mean? Like he would work in Eldia and he would work in Marley as a doctor, but just because he was a doctor and had a job and was able to make money and live for his family, he didn't turn his face away from the Eldians and the suffering. Like he cannot deny the suffering that the Eldians have suffered as something that shouldn't be happening, no matter the heritage. You know what I mean? Um, so I like the idea of them being those two sides of the coin, and how Falco's care for Gabby, and that unrelenting love, whether it's brother and sisterly, romantic or platonic, no matter. It's kind of one of the key factors that help her detox from the Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? So because also when that's why she hates Zeke right now. She hates Zeke because she's convinced that Zeke's a traitor. But as she becomes more aware of why they make these decisions, we're going to see how she changes. And this was a particular episode that was powerful. How, especially the confrontation with that kid, which flashback is the kid that Sasha saved, which I remember. I had forgotten that she was the kid that Sasha saved. And I remember now, and that's like, wow, that was season 2, right? When that happened? Isaac?
Yes, I'm just listening to what you're saying. So
No, I was asking. That was season 2, right? When Sasha
yeah,
saved
that
that
was
girl?
yeah.
So like it's been a whole 2 seasons since we've seen that. So I never imagined that girl and how everything that's going on with Gabby and what's going to make her and hopefully what's going to make her open her eyes is that now inadvertently she is now not only interacting with the girl that Sasha saved, but now she's interacting with Sasha's family, which I don't think she knows yet that this is Sasha's family, which I think it's going to lead to greater character growth because this to me is a setup for a great character development story. Because if we were able to turn a corner with Reiner, which I believe that most people turned a corner with Reiner by the time the attack of Marley started, there is a place for us to turn a corner for Gabby too. Even though she seems annoying now, even though people hate her because she killed Sasha, um, I'm really excited to see how they develop the character, flesh her out, and how she grows beyond being this person that drank the Kool-Aid. You know?
You mean the annoying prick that
Wow.
shouts every line?
Yes. Now, to me, that's not the most important thing of this episode, though. Do you have an idea what I think is the most important thing on the episode?
Unsure, honestly.
Well, the name of the episode is Deceiver, right? So it's literally talking about someone that's being a traitor or mischievous or doing something behind people's backs or whatever. And one of the things that happens in this episode that to me is fantastic because of what it appears that they're setting up is the idea that you have people within the scout regiment that are are fighting for Eren's freedom because they believe that Eren, with everything that he's done in Marley, Eren is the key for Eldia to be reborn. And the fact that this is causing division among the scouts. And you have a character like Flock, which is one of the new additions to the scout regiment, I think in season 2 or 3, that is kind of like leading these younger recruits that are like, you have to free Eren. Eren didn't do anything wrong. He did what needed to be done. And the idea that Eren's actions have political importance in this way, without, of course, Eren so far, he's not really making political statements. You don't see Eren standing in a soapbox. You know what I mean? But
It's
the
sort of
idea,
like to go with another DC Comics characters. It's sort of like Superman. People are split between how they should handle the god in quotation mark
yes,
which in this case is Eren.
yes,
They have a different point of view, all of them, because there are different ways to approach this all.
yep. And also the idea that even though Eren is not a political character in the simplest form, the idea that the action that he made is a political action or could be considered a political action or a political statement. Like his attack of Marley wasn't just an act of war, was a political declaration. You know what I mean? Like this is he made a statement on behalf of Paradis, wanting to or not. And how that's putting his closest friends, like Eren, Mikasa, John, um, Connie, all of these against each other to a degree in the way of how they're dealing with Eren. Now that Eren is making all these decisions for himself, and now he's literally like, because of what he did and because of the power that he has, the way they're talking about him is like in this, and like he's my leader. You know what I mean?
I would not
And
even
like,
say leader to some
well, the
degree.
way, God.
I wouldn't say that. It depends.
What would you say then?
It's someone like I need to. It's not a leader. It's not a god. It's sort of like tool we need to use, so to speak, arguably.
Yeah, but keep in mind that a lot of the things that, and the reason I say leader is because a lot of the things that Flock spoke about and the people that were imprisoned because because they were kind of like spreading the argument of freeing Eren and kind of like inciting troops and whatever. The reason for this being important and the reason I say leader is because a lot of them are not just talking about what Eren did. Is their idea of Eren did this for the right reasons and them being convinced that he did what he did for the right reasons, which is why I say leader, because you don't follow a leader just because of what he says. It's because there should be an integral belief in what he's doing. There's a reason that you believe what he's doing, and that's kind of
I
what it
mean,
sounds that they're putting out there.
There's also could be in depending on how you view it, they could also just following Eren because their commander says that they are going to do so, which is also
Well, but that's the thing, though. These are the people that are doing these are scouts, and their commander is Hange. So they're not doing what Hange wants them to do, which is why Hange is interrogating them. Which, by the way, that confrontation between Eren and Hange, I don't remember if it's this episode or the previous episode, but holy crap, that was intense. And
that's one way to put it.
And the one thing that blew my mind, which by the way, this does not happen in the manga, and if it does, I do not remember it at all, is the idea that as Eren grabbed Hange and screamed at her, he started transforming into a Titan without any wounds. I was surprised. I have never seen that before. The idea that he was just grabbing her and suddenly like the markings of the Titan from his eyes started to appear and like the lightning bolts starting to manifest, and then he lets her go and that stops. Like he was able to stop the transformation midway. Like
You can say that he was becoming almost becoming a Super Saiyan.
exactly. And it was like, and it was awesome because first of all, we've never seen that before. We've never seen a Titan. We've never seen a character become a Titan or display a Titan power like that without any wounds to their bodies. That's one. Two, how much control he has on this. And three, it may be related to the thing that he said right before that, where he goes, I ate the Warhammer Titan. Like he has now even more power than before and all that stuff. Like you never really hear him talk about power. Like he's talking about how this cage cannot hold me. It's pretty awesome. This is all pretty awesome. So I can't wait. Like this is literally these two episodes are the pure definition of a calm before the storm. And I like how the first 5 episodes of the season build up to the big attack on Marley sequence, which is another 3 episodes. And then these couple of episodes kind of are prepping the next big action set piece, which just feels that it's coming. So I love the pacing of this show. Everything that's happened is awesome. I can't wait to see where this goes and how Eren continues to evolve. And will we ever see Eren with a shirt again? I don't know. Um, but but yeah, it's actually pretty awesome. Do you have anything in particular that you want to add to our discussion of the episode so far?
Let's go to the chapter.
Oh my god! So, ladies and gents, thank you for joining us at the Amateur Otaku Podcast. If you love our conversations about the episodes, this is where this section of the episode is ending. So we spoke about episode 69 and episode 70 of the anime of Attack on Titan, the final season. We are now going to go on to talk about the manga. The manga is further way ahead than the show, so it's going to be massive spoilers if you have not read the manga. So this is the moment for you to go away and stop watching the episode, and then whenever you read the manga or watch it on the show, come back and hear our thoughts on it. But thank you for joining us at the Amateur Otaku Podcast. Come back and join us on Saturday at 6:30 p.m. when we go ahead and talk about Your Lie in April, which is the episode that we're going to be covering on Saturday. We're going to be covering that anime July in April. It's available on Netflix. Go watch it. It's an awesome music, slice of life anime that is there for you to enjoy. Isaac, before we head out and say goodbye to the people here, where can people find you on the webs?
You can find me over at Emblemaniac, and you can. I need to get my ass off and working on. Get my ass off and working on updating Instagram because for the Wobum Entertainment, because for some reason I forget about it constantly. I wished I could switch that account to you for some reason because it's connected to my personal account. And you can find my work over at Wobum Entertainment, where I review movies, video games, and animes that we might not. That I'm unsure if we are going to cover or not.
Nice.
And I'm soon gonna review both Persona 5 Strikers and Bravely Default. That both are going to arrive in this week in my mailbox, with Persona 5 Strikers being the first one of the two.
Very nice. And you can find me at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Twitter, at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Instagram, and you can find me on Facebook as Brandon Alvarado. I write music, I cover anime, manga, and I also write for Woman Entertainment as well. I have an awesome piece on Into the Badlands coming up very, very soon. And it's going to come up tomorrow, so feel free to check it out on the webs. So, without further ado, have it awesome, guys. Have a nice time, have a nice night, and we will see you Saturday with Your Lie in April. Have it awesome, guys. Peace. Now, without further ado, those that have stayed on the stream, we're going to talk manga spoilers. We're going to talk about chapter 137 of the Attack on Titan Shinjeki no Kyojin. This chapter came out earlier this month. Specifically, if I'm not mistaken, it came up on February 9th or 8th. I think it's the 8th and the 9th of the month that normally they come in. So here is the episode discussion. Isaac, You read the chapter before I did, and your expression of the chapter was wow. Now, why was it wow? What was it about this episode that to you was wow?
Well, first off, are you trying to get an Waluigi impression, so to speak?
No.
Second of all, it's the current what's happened currently in the manga is, well, we all speak about how insane My Hero Academia is currently, and Dragon Ball can be at times, but this is on a whole other level, in my book at least, because it just goes like it goes like a staircase, just boom, 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 up, and just going more insane. And the ending of that chapter give us too many questions on what's gonna happen, because it's not exactly a definitive, okay, this is how it ends.
Yep.
Because it leave stuff up to interpretation, so to speak.
Yep. 100%. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in this episode, in this chapter, and I mean, of course, we're expected to see this. We're expected to see this, especially being the third to last chapter. We only have 2 chapters left after this one. But there's a lot of things that happen that are of importance. We kind of have an idea or a weird philosophy version of where the famous centipede comes from and how it's like an ancient being that attached to Ymir, thus creating the Titans. Which a lot of people are like going like, what? What is this weird thing about a centipede? But at the same time, I'm like, guys, they gotta explain this somehow. They're trying to make it sciencey. Let it go. Take it as it is. But I like how this is like a call to action episode, where you literally see the forces of good kind of like get back up to a degree in the midst of everything that's going on. But I know what you mean. Like it feels like it doesn't necessarily have a conclusion. Like this chapter does not have a conclusion. The chapter ends with Armin getting ready to become colossal and kill Eren. But we don't see it happen. We don't even see we see like the beginnings of the transformation, right? Like the final panel in the book is Eren's face. Armin's face there, like getting ready to make that decision and the explosion of the armored titan, but you don't see anything else. Now, big things that happen. Zeke dies, which I was not expecting, but I understand 100% why it happens.
Consider, I think we saw it a mile away, considering with all the banter he and Levi has had, and Levi has, I'm gonna kill you, and so to speak, and I think it was quite foreshadowed, so to speak, if you know what I mean.
Oh no, we knew that it needed to happen, and we knew that if someone was going to kill Zeke, it was going to be Levi. But I like the fact that the moment that it happened, it wasn't just an anger kill. It was a strategy kill. You know what I mean? Because we know for a fact that the only real reason that, at least so far, the only real reason that Eren is able to tap into the power of the founding titan is because he's linked to Zeke, which is of royal blood. So by killing Zeke and eliminating the titan of royal blood from the equation, Eren can't tap to the founding titan anymore. At least as far as we understand it, you know? So it wasn't just, apart from Zeke like waking up from like the weird slumber and nihilistic hole that he was in, and the idea of him and Armin rallying together the Titans of old, which to me was awesome. It was like a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers moment, like bringing all the power or the old Power Rangers back. That's really what it felt like, in a good
That's
way.
a good way to put it.
Like all the Red Rangers. But also, it was pretty sweet seeing Grisha again as an Attack Titan. That was crazy. But the idea that in the midst of all this, he manifests himself on top of the Fountain Titan and literally calls Levi, like he serenades Levi to come and kill him. And like a desperate lover, Levi comes running and cuts his head off.
Oh my.
It was poetic. You gotta admit, it was poetic. And yes, I am tempting everyone for their fan fiction. Yes,
This is getting weird, my friend. This is getting weird.
well, I mean, the way, look at the panel. Look at the way it is. I'm gonna show the panel here, and because it's so like it's gorgeous the way it happens. It's poetic the way it happens, and it's like, for a character that's caused so much trouble, allowing his death to still mean something, it's not easy.
I don't know if I should be disturbed or not.
Disturbed about what?
You calling it poetic, beautiful, and all that, yes. But then again, yeah, you like sword art, so it shouldn't surprise
Wow. That is wow. That is so bad. That is so bad.
I changed sword art to End of Evangelion.
See, and we have this right here.
I apologize for those that like sword art and Neon Evangelion, but I like messing with my co-host.
Now this is the panel right here. And this right here, like Zeke coming back and going like, "Lend me your strength," right? And then he comes back. Now, this moment to me is powerful because when Zeke pops out of the Fountain Titan, it's not just because he's ready to die, but also because he has been convinced by Armin. Like, he understands that Armin's argument of the fact that life is more than multiplication, life is more than survival. Life is about enjoying moments with those that you care about. Life is about living, about discovery, and which is a lot of the traits that Erwin shared with Armin. The idea of enjoying life and loving life and living a life that means something. And that being the factor that kind of makes Zeke wake up, because he's lived on this, endless cycle of survival or stuff like that, or finding that not being able to be, I don't know. I don't know the whole thing, but the idea of him enjoying little moments and stuff like that, which go back to the idea of, how they talk about how Armin is going to save the world. Like Eren talks about how Armin is going to save the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the kind of scene where you literally see Armin saving the world. which is brilliant because when you look at when you look at it, Armin is saving the world because as soon as he is able to bring everyone together and convince Zeke of waking up, Zeke manifests, he enjoys the view, and then Levi kills him. And as soon as Levi kills Zeke, the rumbling stops, which is which is the whole thing. So literally, even without him killing Eren, Armin just saved the world, or at least what's left of it, which is kind of poetic. And now Armin is the one that is moving forward. They've blown up the neck of the founding titan. The head is on the floor. It has been beheaded. They suspect that Eren's body is there, and the fountain titan centipede has been released and is trying to latch onto the skull of the titan again. But you have the armored titan holding onto it. They're about to deliver the final blow, and you see the panel that's right here, which is Armin looking at everybody, which is the final panel of it, which is this right here. So I'm going to share, which is a nice foreshadowing. I mean, it leaves you with more questions too because you don't see the salute, you don't see, but you see him, you see Mikasa on one corner, we see Armin on the other side, and then we see the words "Goodbye, Eren," like he's delivering a final nuclear blow with the colossal on Eren. Now, when you saw this, what is the first thing that comes to your mind, Isaac?
I highly doubt he's dead.
Yeah, me too. And you know what is the thing that's kind of working in my head right now when I see that? It's the fact that we have never seen Eren display the abilities of the Warhammer. And one of the key things that the Warhammer has is that it can hide its body from its Titan. So who's to say that Eren's body is in the head? What if Eren's body is somewhere else?
Exactly, because it feels like something. The Warhammer Titan's ability doesn't feel randomly implemented, especially with how
Right.
they focus on it. That's
Yeah.
that's why the transformation ended up like that instead of how it normally is.
Yep. Yep. And not only that, it's also the thing that like I've told too many people that I've talked about it is that the one thing we know about Titan users is that the longer they are in the Titan form, their bodies are regenerating. So even though the whole centipede thing got stuck to Eren's head, right? And he became the fountain, he became the fountain titan. He's been in the founding titan's body for a long time, so it's very possible that that head has completely regenerated an entire body. So I wouldn't be surprised. You know what would be crazy? If the Warhammer Titan's ability, and because he had the founding titan power, do you imagine that Eren hid if he was able to hide his body in one of the many titans that's in the rumbling?
Never really thought about that.
That would be crazy. Like they're all attacking like that big body, but his actual body is crystallized somewhere inside of one of those many colossal titans. That would be crazy. It would be awesome though too. But also, I don't think Aaron's gonna die. I don't think Aaron's gonna die here. My friend Jeremy had a theory that Aaron needs to die so that Armin can be the hero and create this new peaceful world. But at the same time, I can't help but want for Isayama to give us what he promised, which was that last panel where we see Eren saying, "You are free," and pretty much claiming victory and stuff like that. Like I want Eren to win. Damn it, Team Eren.
Do we know that? Are we sure that that's Eren?
He looks
That
like
panel.
grown up. He looks like grown up Eren. He looks like the
I mean,
Eren that we're seeing now.
I mean, that could be honestly someone else.
Let me see.
To be fair,
It could be, but I remember that. Let me see.
besides, how many years does he have left during that time? Is it like
You mean
one
you mean like when you mean years left in terms of Titan being able to live as a Titan? You mean?
yeah?
Well, by the time of the flashback, he had 4 years left. So with all this happening, he has 2 years left. The one that's almost entirely out of time is Reiner and Pike. Reiner, Pike have like a year, I have 2 years left or something, or 1 year left. And I know that Zeke is like in his last couple of months, which he was going to die anyway. So this is the famous final panel of that Isayama had posted. And yes, it could be anybody. You can't tell, but I would not be surprised at all if that would be Eren, just because of the body type. I don't know. I don't know, man. And not only that, that phrase sounds like Eren.
Watch it being Levi.
No, he's too small.
Good point.
He's way too small, bro. He may be a badass and can hold a cup of tea like nobody's business, but too small, bro. But yeah, man. I mean, this is crazy. The rumbling has stopped. We got 2 more chapters. I'm excited to see what happens. And a hell of a cliffhanger. One hell of a cliffhanger.
That's an understatement.
Anything else you want to add before we head out?
No. I was hoping that I would have a colossal pun, but my memory had armored up, and so I could fail me to yaw something out.
I have my Warhammer ready. I'm ready to throw it at you. But then it got stuck in my jaw.
No comment.
Calm down or I will attack you. We have no listeners right now. Okay, so
mean, we are covering the manga, yeah, and so we had listeners during the anime.
Yes,
so
yes, we did. Yes, we did. So thank you guys for joining us on this episode on the Attack on Titan. We spoke about the 2 episodes of the anime, and we just briefly spoke about the manga chapter that just came out 2 weeks ago. Great stuff happening. The show is the manga is almost over. The season, it appears that it's going to wrap up just like where we're expecting it with the start of the rumbling. There's awesome stuff going on with this property, and we can't wait to keep talking about it. We will see you in 2 weeks' time, where we'll cover episodes 71 and 72 of the Attack on Titan anime, the final season. And we'll see you.
And hopefully we'll have some new episodes about Promised Neverland and not a recap episode.
Yes. So we will see you again we'll see you again this Saturday with our coverage of Your Light in April, which is an awesome music slice of life show. And on Monday of next week, we will see you again with our coverage of Promised Neverland, which hopefully, like he said, we'll have 2 more episodes. We will see you next time, guys. Thank you for joining us. If you guys have any recommendations, and thoughts or comments, please send them to us at Amateur Otaku Pod and send it to our email as well at amateurotakurtf@gmail.com. You can follow me at the ScarletFan52 on Twitter, at the ScarletFan52 on Instagram, and as Brandon Alvarado on Facebook. Isaac, where can we find you?
Well, like I said earlier in the episode, you can find me at Emblemaniac, like you see below, and you can find our Instagram at the Amateur Otaku, and you can find my work over at Wobum Entertainment, where I review video games, anime, movies. Have I reviewed normal TV shows? No, I have not. But it's essentially just anime, video games, movies. The next in line is Persona 5 Strikers, and then it will be Bravely Default 2. I'm gonna try and get some Pokemon movie reviews up for this week, considering it's Pokemon Day on Saturday. Also.
Nice. Very, very nice. So we will see you next time, guys. Have it awesome, guys. Peace.
Peace.